All right, hard yarners. Today we are joined by the GOAT, Dane Swan. And if you're listening at home or watching at home, you'll see behind him here our sponsor, alltradescover.com.au.
All trades, all cover.
All trades, all cover. If you're a tradie, big business, small business, and you want a bit of coverage, hit them up, alltradescover.com.au. And John Elliott, who's coming on the 8th to talk some more Playboy stories, being a millionaire Playboy who wants to travel the world and walk across Australia with 7 camels. That'll be a good night with Corey White, I think. So, but anyway, alltradescover.com.au. Get on board. Also, this episode is brought to you by Kahuna Golf. So, if you like playing golf, if you like feeling good and looking good and playing good, they've got the pretty loud, vibrant sort of coloured shirts, and they've got a new line coming out soon. But the hats, and I keep pushing the hoodie. It's fucking sick. It's good. I work out on it and use it for gym and whatnot. And then obviously Squealing Pig, raunchy beer, get involved. But today we were joined by Dane Swan, the GOAT, and Squealy, my Delby co-host. It's like a jockey on steroids.
That's it.
Yeah. So
Thanks for having me, boys.
What do we chat about, mate?
What are we chatting about?
Yeah, what did we chat about?
What did we chat about?
There were better questions.
Yeah. Chatted about the Hall of Fame. We chatted about tackling. Chatted about footy trips and who would I like to go on them with. And a lot more shit in between. My brain isn't that great, so I can't really remember. So you can help me out. But we chatted a lot of bullshit, to be honest. Nothing's going to make you any smarter, but I think we had a fairly entertaining hour or so. So please keep listening. If you don't, even if
Please.
It's much better than the intro. Let me tell you, it's much better.
It gets better from here.
Exactly, it's much better.
Yeah. It's like Dane Swan's footy career. Started slowly, fucking gets there.
Exactly.
Perfect, mate. I really appreciate the coming on and your time. So, yeah, sick. Let's get hard.
Too easy.
Let's get hard.
I am.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast. I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Brand.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Cheers. Thanks for coming on, mate. That's back to back.
Yeah.
That's good. I doubt you remember. But.
No, I remember we were in different setup last time.
Yeah, far.
But I remember being here, mate.
Bit of an upgrade.
The co-host looks a bit different. But
yeah, a bit wider.
I can't rap, so don't expect that.
So before we start, mutual friend, Sammy Ritchie's, had a kid, Harley. How's that all going? Like, she's back on the pod and going well?
Yeah, she's back on the pod. Her tardy self, she's never on time, but when you've got 2 kids under 3 or something like that, I guess, give her a little bit of leeway. But she's the brains of the operation, which isn't saying much because us other 2 don't have fucking any. But yeah, no, she's back. She had a little bit of maternity leave, but she's back on board now and setting up because we probably wouldn't be around if it wasn't for her, to be honest. So no, it's good to have her back.
Yeah, little Harley. Have you met Harley?
Yeah, well, he's had to pop in and so he sits in the corner like a plant and just sits there and does his stuff. We've been online the last few times because I've been over here and Ralph was in the US and Sam couldn't get away because of children commitments. Just fuck. But
how's all that going? You're a dad. Well, had twins since, was it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have them. I know it's I know we live in the world 2024 and apparently men can have children these days, which is a conversation for probably another podcast.
Probably the podcast which is to have fun. It on, actually.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's going all right, mate. That's why I really enjoy being over in Perth for 10 days, so I can sleep in and roll around and play on my phone in the morning and not have to deal with 3 kids going berserk. But yeah, it's going all right. Life's obviously changed a hell of a lot, but it is what it is. It's a natural progression of life, as they say. I need someone to look after me when I'm cooked in about 20 years. So no, listen, it's nice that the kids are happy and healthy. So I guess that's all you can ask.
Yeah. Did you use the "we're pregnant"? You know how some blokes say that.
Well, I think so. I think I felt every part of the birth with my partner. Yep, we're in it together. So I felt it too. Unfortunately, we went through it together. So yeah, of course I did. Yep.
Yeah. What's the go at the moment? You're over 10 days, just doing a bit of touring?
Yeah. So
Got a list of clubs.
I went. I flew to Queensland on Wednesday night for State of Origin, and then flew here on Thursday morning. I didn't realise it was 6-hour flight.
From Sydney?
Yeah, no, from Queensland.
From
From Origins
Queensland.
in Queensland or Brisbane. So I felt like I should have been in another country. Having a 6-hour flight, I should have got off and I should have been in Bali or like in somewhere nice, but ended up in Perth. So
Would have been cold and rainy too, eh?
no, I was fucked. So man, I packed like this sweater and then one hoodie and that's it. I was thinking shorts, t-shirt, thongs. I come out and man, I had to train last Thursday night. And it was horrific rain. It was waffle. I was like, what am I doing? But so I brought. But it's actually quite nice today. So nicer than what it has been. And it's certainly warmer than Melbourne, so I'll take it.
Yeah. You're at my old mob on Wednesday, West Perth, and with Ray Schofield's son's coming to represent him. I think so. He
got inducted into the Hall of Fame, didn't he?
Yeah. I heard you did as well. So.
Yeah, no, I did too. yeah.
How's that feel actually? It must be. It's got to be a bit of an honour, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's an honour, but I don't feel any different.
Yeah.
My life goes on as normal. It was a fun night. So having a crack on a Tuesday really throws your week out of whack.
You had an entourage there.
Yeah, I've got the record for the most. I had 35 in attendance. And I think most people get one table, but I managed to get 3.
How's that organised? Do you just hit them up like I want this many?
Yeah, so being in the Hall of Fame doesn't really mean anything to me at the minute. It's when I was getting like All Australians and Best and Fairest and the Brownlow and stuff, you actually got a bonus in your contract, right? So you're getting some monetary reward for it.
Not bad.
Winning the Hall of Fame, you get a certificate. So, let's be honest. Like, you think you'd get fucking something a bit nicer than a certificate for being in Hall of Fame. And because I've won a Brownlow, you already get. So it's called a gold pass. So you get 2 tickets to every game for the rest of your life. 2 free tickets to Granny, everything. So,
nice.
And if you get in the Hall of Fame, that's what you get. But I've already got it. So literally, and I don't even have the certificate. Like it's the AFL have still got it because. I went out, so we went out that night. So it really doesn't mean anything. So I was like, what I love doing, I want to spend it with my mates. That's why one thing I love doing is being able to have fun with your mates. As we know, we all get older and kids and family and shit. People go their separate ways. So the Hall of Fame was basically for me was just a great way to get all 30 of my mates and friends and family together for a night, no children, and be able to like sort of pin the ears back and have a crack. Yeah. So
do they put the piss on for free?
Yeah, so the functions, and I actually thought the function was a crown because I just figured all the good functions are, all the AFL functions are a crown. Yeah. Brownlow, like Best of all of them are a crown. So I was telling everyone, I got a villa at Crown for a couple of nights. And once I finally told everyone, I said, we'll go to Crown, stay at Crown, we'll go up to my room, have a crack, and then you can just go when you want. Then my mum rang me about 5 days before the event. She goes, it's not at the casino. I was like, righto. So I had to ring everyone. I was at a place called Centrepiece, so in near Rod Laver. So I went there. Yeah, it's a free piss night. It was like 35. So how I got the tables, I got one, and I was like, I want the Rat Pack to be there because I want to be able to enjoy it with my friends and family. There's no point me winning or earning, accepting, whatever you call it, something like that, unless I can enjoy it with the people that I care about. That's what I care about most in life. So they gave me another table, and then Collingwood actually bought me a table because I'm not in their Hall of Fame yet. Which is fucked, I know. So I don't know what I've done to that football club. I only won them a premiership and fucking Best and Fairest and Brownlows, but not good enough to be deemed worthy to go in their Hall of Fame. So, and Collingwood were on their bye week that week, so the CEO and the president were all on their holiday, so they all fucked off to Noosa and stuff like that. So no one was actually going to be there from Collingwood. So
That's
I think
perfect.
so I think they felt a bit guilty, so they rang me and said, mate, we'll buy you a table, and I can be bribed very easily. So I was like, all is forgiven. So that was no problem. So then I had another 10, so I brought another 10 mates. So I had a boys table, which was 10 of the boys, and then I had the Rat Pack on my table and mum and dad, and then I had sort of like family and a couple of couples on the other table. So final night. Then we all went back to Crown, into my room, and had a few too many noise to play, so we got moved on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I was a waste.
Didn't pull out like I'm in the
tried.
fucking Hall of Fame, but
I tried. I've actually tried it a couple of times. It doesn't work.
How's it go with the wife as well?
No, well, so we had it for 2 nights, got home, it didn't know. It felt like Sunday for about 3 days. And I was sitting on the couch, hung over maybe the Thursday or the Friday, I was watching the tally or something, and Mrs. was, I don't know, doing the dishes or cleaning up something. She's like, can you unpack the dishwasher? I was like, no. And she looked at me and I was like, what do you mean? So, well, I'm a Hall of Fame. Hall of Famers don't unpack the dishwashers. I thought I'd give it a go.
yeah, you needed the certificate then.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know where it is. Yeah, so she told me to get fucked, and I had to get up and do the dishes. So, it hasn't changed my life one bit, unfortunately. I don't even have the certificate to prove it.
Yeah. Well, it must be good seeing like the Rat Pack and mates and family. Like I had a thing yesterday where we've got like an old patron who used to come on the podcast, on the footy trips all the time. Old boy. He's 60-ish now, so he can't really come anymore, but he's not well. So message went out, let's go visit him at the hospital. And there's a group of about 10 of us who went on maybe 5-10 footy trips together, all group. And it just shows like that bond that you have, it stems past footy, it stems past the drink and the piss. And like when things get serious, you're all there for each other. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's the most pleasing or the most rewarding thing, or the thing I value the most out of my football career, like all the individual awards and that. Like, I don't wake up every morning and go, fuck, I'm a Brownlow medalist, or I've won 5 All-Australians, or I'm a Hall of Famer. Like, my life has not changed, a little bit maybe because I've probably got a bit more of a profile, so that helps that. But like, the thing that I value the most are the friendships, because no one gives a fuck when you're 60 if you've won a best and fairest in 2010, like 50 years ago or whatever. But what you do have is, like you said, your mates, and like we'll be tied together forever, and we'll have a friendship forever. So in 30 years, that Rat Pack will still be mates, and we'll still sit around, have beers, and pick on the same people and have the same laugh. So that's the thing that I value the most out of my football career, for sure.
100%. I think that was the thing. We were all sitting around just going, fuck yeah, we should get a reunion. Let's go head over. You'd last fucking 3 or 4 hours and go, we'll split the bill and head home to bed tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah. That must obviously it's a big achievement. And then being held in the sort of the same sort of category as like a Ray Schofield or some of these greats, it does have to be a bit daunting, does it?
Yeah, a little bit. You look around the room and you figure out who's there, and like guys who are much better than me. But
do you pick out the ones that aren't?
Yeah, fuck, how's Ian here? Now stroll through the less of 300 and go, fuck, got him covered. I'm sitting about 140, so yeah. Basically,
That's what I do with comedy. Like, I feel bad for being on the lineup, and then I just pick out someone who I think's shitter, and I'm like, oh well, I deserve to fucking be here. Then.
Exactly, yes, that's what I did, mate. So I'll walk in there next year and go, fuck, can't take Tall there. Hall of Fame, can't believe he's getting inducted this year. He's no good.
Well, I'm not doing any gigs with you anymore.
But it's obviously you look around and guys who are clearly much better, but unfortunately they're stuck on a list with me for the rest of their lives. And being on a list with me is not usually pleasant. The lists I was usually on when I was playing footy were either ones where everyone fucked up or ones to get into a nightclub.
Well, the one that I fucking have always geeked out on, though, is the 2001 draft list.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, like, will there be a draft as good as that? But that's a waste of a question. This is the greatest draft fucking ever.
Yeah.
Better than Vietnam.
Who was in it? Better than Vietnam.
Yeah, because they drafted my dad, and he's no fucking good. But so everyone talks about the Brownlow medalists from that year. So that's your draft.
Ablett, Judd, Bartel, Hodge, Sam Mitchell,
Stevie J,
Montagna, Del Sano, Brian Lake, who won Norm Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. Like everyone talks about the Brownlow medalists, but from 2005 to 2014, 6 of the 11 Norm Smith medalists come from that one draft.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if you didn't draft well, like Freo gave up their trades to that draft, don't win a fucking premiership.
Yeah.
Like you had to have someone from that fucking draft. But did you, like, you obviously would have been playing like 16s and 17s with that group of people. Was there like a thought like, fuck, everyone here is good, or you just didn't know?
Yeah, well, I didn't play under a Cannon, so I only played 1 year as a 17-year-old, because I wasn't a very good junior, but Luke Ball was the best. Like, I played against him in my only year in under 18s, and it was basically like he'd get it, kick it to someone, and the team would wait for him to run back down the field. Then they'd kick it, then he'd mark it, and then like he'd kick it again. That was basically I thought he was going to be the best. And Judd played a lot of school footy, and I didn't play school footy, so I missed him. And and Hodgie was up in Geelong, so I didn't played against him once in the Cannons. But Luke Ball was the one. But I got drafted. This is how 2001's a super draft, but I got drafted. This is how I guess how it proves what recruiters know and how lucky they can get sometimes. So I got drafted as a 17-year-old at pick 58 because they thought that draft wasn't very good.
Yeah, right.
What?
Yeah, they were like, so I got drafted on the basis because I played 3 good games the year I got drafted. I was going to be high in 2002 draft, they thought. So they took a punt on me because they thought it had bottomed down. There wasn't much talent in the back end of the draft.
Which is crazy because Brian Lake got drafted after you.
Yeah, so you look now and you look at all the talent was in that draft. So now all the recruiters are like, mate, we fucking knew it. We knew it. But like, it was just luck of the draw. But that would be very, very hard for that draft to be.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
But that sort of makes a little bit of sense because like around the area where you got drafted, there's like a few people who got redrafted at the time. Like I think Chad Rental got redrafted. Like fucking Mick Martin.
Really?
Just randomly in there.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's just like a random little thing. And then everyone else is just fucking
Where did he get
superstars.
redrafted to? Did he go back
I think that was
Kangaroos again? Was it like
I don't know which
delisted?
one that was, but he's just randomly on the fucking
So I went
list.
pick 58. It is statistically more possible. You're statistically more of a chance to win a Brownlow being drafted pick 58 than pick 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Pick 58 has 3 Brownlow medals.
Fuck. Who's
Me and Lockie Neal.
Lockie Neal?
Yeah.
Well.
And pick 1 has...
And you got robbed of one.
Pick 1 has Adam Cooney.
Yeah.
So you're statistically more of a chance to win a Brownlow being drafted 58. So I think you shouldn't want to go number 1. You should want to go 58. Because that is when, we've got probably like 8 All-Australian. Lockie Neal's probably 3 or 4 time All-Australians. So we've got like 8 or 9 All-Australians between us. So 58 is a very, very fucking good number. If you can get drafted 58, mate, you're set up for greatness.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I played shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just went too far.
Yeah.
Like, I played too shit. They're like, don't draft him at all.
Are you having a run around at the moment?
No.
You stopped?
Yeah, I went to one training session and did my hamstring. And it was like, this is just stupid at this point.
I was trying to play a bit of country footy last couple of years. I reckon I played 2 quarters in 2 games last year, and I was like, fuck,
Done.
Stick to running and jogging. How do you keep going? Like, fuck, man.
So I'm a fuckwit. That's why.
How old are you now?
40.
40. Fuck, man.
Yeah, the next year will probably be my last year. Well, the answer to your question is because I have young children at home.
Yeah.
And it gets me out of the house on a Saturday.
I was about to say the sentimental one.
No,
you want them to see you play footy.
No. I want to get away for a day. So that's probably the reason. And I love footy clubs. And I don't think I'd be great in an office. I think I'd probably sit in the HR if I was in an office. But, 1 more year, I think. My body's okay. And like it gets me out of the house. And as I say, it's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. So the hardest thing to do with young children and families is to get out of the house on your own. So footy's the gateway that gets me out. Then once you're out, you can sort of have a few. And if you come home a bit later, you say sorry the next day, and it's forgiven by the following Saturday, and then you get out again and do it all again.
100%. I mean,
So what happens after that? Do you just do tours of clubs doing their Mad Mondays
Yeah,
instead?
I'm trying to figure out. Maybe I've never played golf. Maybe golf or lawn bowl. My dad's a mad lawn bowler now, so maybe the lawn bowling, and so they play Saturdays. So maybe get me out and fucking lawn bowl. I don't know, something. I need some help to figure out how I can get out on a Saturday.
Lawn bowls is pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
because you can drink while you're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, our sponsors, Kahuna Golf, would suggest golf is the way to do it.
Kahuna Golf. Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, mate, I've fucking been smashing golf lately. I've been a hack for the last 15 years, and I'm not by any means good now, but just by prioritising it. And once the sponsor came on, I have to get out and play golf now. You start to improve, you start to play, and it is.
And the weather's nice over here. So Melbourne, I don't know why anyone is mad enough to play golf in Melbourne, especially this time of year. The wind is howling, it's freezing cold, it's pissing down rain. Why anyone wants to hit a golf ball around for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours in the middle of winter has got me fucked. If I lived in Perth or Queensland in a warmer climate, I'd probably be more inclined to get out and have a whack, but I have zero interest in being cold at all times. So why would I want to go outside at 6 in the morning and hit a golf ball for 4 hours? It's got me beat.
100%. Have you thought about coaching?
No, it's not for me. Maybe when my son is a bit older. All my daughters, they want a footy. Maybe I'll if they have an interest in me being around there, but maybe them. But nah.
Yeah.
To be a coach, it's a full-time job. Like being a player, I don't train. You just lob up on a Saturday for 2 hours and have a few beers with the boys. Being a coach, you got to fucking worry about being at training Tuesday, Thursday. In the AFL, they spend 5x the amount of hours there for a quarter of the pay, and you got to be mad to be a coach. And you get your weekends taken away from you. So you got to train, then you got to cut up the video the next day, and so it's too much. And local footy. Mate, no thanks, man. No.
Mate, I did local footy after finishing up, and it was, it's not fun.
No,
it's a bit of a different, and that commitment is fucking cooked. But like Sammy Mitchell has gotten into it, same draft.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. And Delby called it actually at the start of this last season. He's like, Hawthorn's going to start playing a brand of footy that a lot of clubs aren't going to be playing.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well. They've got a young crew, and then this year he said they were going to make the finals this year. I said, you're a fucking idiot. And fuck, man,
you would have been
bought
crying early.
Well, they've bought into a fucking system that seems to be fucking Sammy Mitchell's a genius. Look what he did at the Eagles.
He's got them going really well. They're quite annoying to watch when they're flogging your team. But they get excited kicking goals and that, which is maybe I'm just getting old. But geez, they carry on when they kick goals. But when you fucking playing like you're playing, and they obviously enjoy playing for Sam, and they clearly look like they're having fun. And when you're enjoying yourself, you're obviously going to play much better footy. So whatever he's doing down there is working. They're going well, the Hawks.
They remind me of last year's Collingwood, really, like the vibe, the high vibes, the high intensity.
Absolutely, they fucking clearly have a great connection with each other, and I know connections are a horrible word that gets used everywhere these days, but they clearly look like they're all good mates, and they really celebrate each other's success, which is awesome. But it wasn't great to see them hammer the Pies yesterday and fucking the carry on from all of them.
And Ginnivan.
Yeah, exactly. The carry on from him.
He had a blinder.
He fucking didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did. Well, as I say, when you do that and you play like that, you can sort of do whatever you want. No one can really argue, but it's quite fucking annoying to see him carry on like he just won the grand final and carrying on all his celebrations. It was highly annoying, but you got to tip your cap. He played well, shoved it up Collingwood's ass, and you, as a fan, you just got to sit there and just smirk through it and just cop it, and hopefully we pound them next time.
It's one of those ones like you see, and I do see their sort of game style is a little different, and teams will start to catch up. Collingwood was like that last year. It seems like once you're at the top, you become the hunted. People start planning to beat you, and that's probably understandable what's happening. And they only won their games by less than a goal, mostly.
Yeah, they had a couple of real tough years. Like they played a lot of close games, a lot of physical games. The way they run, got beat by a kick in the prelim the year before. Played a lot of tough, close games. Their game style's very, very aerobically challenging. So. And this year they've just fallen in a hole. A lot of injuries, like just form. They've just fallen in a hole. So they're obviously cooked this year. To take a miracle for them with the draw they've got coming up. So it's a lot of key injuries. I think they'll look at Geelong. They bottomed out last year and thought they were fucked, and they've bounced back. And obviously they were disappointing on the weekend, but they have a chance to finish in the top 4 again. So I think Collingwood, they're their list isn't going anywhere. They've still got a strong list. Obviously, Scott and Steele are a year will be a year older, so whether they go on or not, who knows. But the core of their group is still very good. It's just they need a clean run at it with injury. So I've no doubt they'll be back up in contention next year. This year's just a write-off. And listen, you can't win it every year. So as fucking you say, if you're not first, you're last. So Ricky Bobby said.
That looked a lot of fun last year. I think it was on Twitter, all the crowd egging you on. And that must have been fucking good. Like, do you watch it as a supporter? What do you like?
Yeah, so I just watch as a supporter now. I like to gamble on it, so I was also financially invested. But yeah, so I had my gold pass season, which I would have got if I from being a Hall of Fame now. But I was row 1 on the second level, like the pretty awesome seats. And obviously all the Collingwood supporters were there. In quarter time, you stand up and stretch your legs. And my mate was going to get a beer because, you know, if I went, it'd take me a fair while to come home with like people asking for photos now, which is fine. But yeah, people stood up and I actually had a beer in my hand and all the crowd down the bottom were carrying on and like scull it. So I was like, fuck, righto. So I had like probably half of one. So I sculled it and then my mate said, well, that was not enough. So he gave me the full one and then the crowd obviously started to lift, so I had to scull that as well. So I was like, I'm not going to see 3/4 times. Every time I stand up, I have to scull 2 beers. So I try to sit down again. But nah, mate, I loved it. I love the Collingwood supporters. They've made me sort of who I am. They embrace me and my flaws and, they enjoy what I have to say and do, and they get around to all my shows. So without them, I certainly wouldn't be in Perth doing, a tour like I'm doing today. So it was a bit of fun. It was a solid 24 hours. People ask me if I celebrate, and I celebrate it like I won the fucking thing. So I'm a bit flat I didn't get a medal. Celebrated probably a bit longer and harder than most of the boys. So
yeah.
It was a fun.
It's a fucking good game as well.
It was awesome.
Like when I think Charlie Cameron kicked that goal with less than a minute left, and then they still get up. That was fucking incredible.
It was an awesome game for a neutral observer too.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of corporates that go to the game. It was like 23 or 24 degrees that day. It was really hot. Perfect day for footy. Probably a bit warm for the boys, but perfect day for footy and a great game, which is what we want to see. Grand final. Obviously, the Pies won't be in it this year, so we just want to see a good game. And like the year before Geelong Sydney, everyone was turned their back by quarter time.
Yeah.
I wasn't at the game. I was at a mate's, but the game was off. The races were on by quarter time because it was over. So
100%
you were just all sitting around carrying on. So
yeah, the syndicate started taking over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you want to hope for a good game.
Punt?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Like oath.
Yeah. And then you just follow on who touches. Maybe,
then you're just following the same game oldies.
Yeah,
that's
same game
basically
oldies.
it.
Yeah,
all,
going all right. Yeah.
all the overrun, whatever bet you've got.
Yeah. Well, obviously the state of the game, we'll get your opinion on that because it's pretty fucking. I watch it still, but it's hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And last week was pretty big in the AFL
With the tackling,
the tackling. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, like everyone else's, just no one knows. That's the biggest problem. They just need to make it clear cut, and whether people agree with the rule, whatever it is, as long as people can understand it. Because that's the biggest problem. Well, half the time, you don't know whether it's holding the ball in the back, dropping the ball, or prior opportunity. Like since Jesus played in the back pocket, like the rule was if you get tackled and you try to get rid of it and you drop it or you don't get a disposal, it's holding the ball. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So if you get tackled and you make an effort and you drop the ball, it's play on.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So they need to go back to simplifying it because none of us think the umpires do a good job, but they've fucking got a tough job.
Yeah.
So now you're asking people to pin one arm and excuse me, bud, can you just lift your wing open so I can gently wrap you around the belly and just lay your head down like you're laying in a pillow at night and I don't know if any of these rule makers have actually sat at the ground level and watched how fast and hard these boys run at these days. Like the speed of the game is incredible and how hard they hit. For them to be asked to gently grab a wing and lay them down, now you're being asked to only grab one arm, which is hard. And then, so if you only grab one arm and they try to kick it, they're off balance. They're more chance to fall and smash their head. So no one knows. So the game's in a bit of a pickle at the moment because I don't think anyone knows how to tell. If the players don't know what they have to do when they're going in to get the ball, how are the umpires meant to know and how are the fans meant to know? And the game is meant to be for the fans so they can sit there and we used to yell at ball when they drop the ball, but now it's not holding the ball, I think.
Yeah.
So until they clear up that confusion, like the game's in a tough spot because no one understands what's going on. So they need to make it clear cut, whether people enjoy it, whether people like whatever rule they bring in or they don't. At least we can all get to a baseline. We go, right, that is holding the ball or that's a ball up, just so we can understand it, and then we can get back to understanding, because there's 5-6 different interpretations a game where you're like, well, fuck, that was holding the ball. Now that one's not. And so it's weird. The game is in a pickle at the moment because obviously with all the head stuff, and I understand we have to protect the head, and I think the game's come a long way in the last 4 or 5 years with the tackling and the looking after heads. But the unfortunate thing is I think a lot of the match review things or whatever get judged on outcome rather than action, where like if you're doing the right action and there's an accident where someone actually gets a head knock, well, it's 3 or 4 weeks where there's no in between. There's no like 1 week. Well, that's a dangerous tackle. We'll give you 1 week. But if you get concussed, it's automatically 3, which is a big penalty to pay for someone who tried, like the Bedford thing, actually tries to do the right thing and hold them up, but just accidentally hits their head. And then, like, is there a baseline? Everyone has to get their heads tested for concussion, because someone might have rocks in their head and they might be able to smash their head on the ground and bounce back up. But someone like Paddy McCann or something, all he needs is a slide zephyr of wind to hit him on the sky and he's concussed. So it's like he get umpired differently from the match review panel, because he can't cop a hit in the head, but some meatheads that can. So fucked if I know is the answer. Is a short answer to that, like everyone else.
Yeah. It's interesting, like obviously like that, putting the arm out, like, and I've been stung with putting the arm out before and had my arm out, held it, dislocated my shoulder.
That's what I mean.
So you're going to get a lot of other issues by trying to do that. And
people, and a lot of people are sort of throwing their heads, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People used to do, I don't know, you film a lot, the Ginnivan and the Joel Selwood and where they lift their arm up to try and get a free kick. Now they're trying to pin their arms to hit the deck to get a free kick on their head. You know what I mean? From hitting the head. So players are very, very good at sort of trying to find loopholes in rules to get free kicks and stuff like that. So, thank goodness I'm not, working at the AFL trying to figure out this rule, because it's a tough one, because they want to see the kid. You want your kids to come on and play, and the AFL don't want to lose the kids, like the 10-year-olds, to soccer and to netball and to basketball, because their parents think, they don't want their son to have concussions and be fucked for the rest of their lives.
100%. I understand the dump stuff. Like I remember myself, someone picking me up off my feet, dumping me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's bullshit.
And that's gone out. That's clearly gone out of the game now. And no one sling tackles anymore, which was huge back then. The sling tackle's gone.
Yeah. That 2 movements, that being gone. I think that was good. That was a couple of years ago that brought that second movement.
Exactly, and it's gone. It's good, and everyone knows if you do that now, well, you're buggered. So, I think it takes a little bit of time for like the players to change their actions. So I think there does need to be a little bit of leeway for a year or so, just because you can't change an action that you've been taught since you were 6 in 3 weeks, especially at the top level when the ball moves so fast. So you need some time to train it during the off season, or
I seen Collingwood trying to do it the other day, like genuinely practicing techniques.
I think Collingwood should maybe worry about practicing kicking goals and a bit more getting the footy instead of tackling people.
What were they? 111 the other day. One goal.
Yeah, 11? No, exactly, wasn't great. Yeah, no, doesn't help. No, so kicking 111 doesn't help. Yeah, no, especially when you're struggling.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I think like you brought up the players throwing their heads towards the ground now to get a free kick. I think I've seen a couple times where that's gone close to being something really bad by the player, because they hook their head in, and then if someone accidentally rolls them the wrong way, I reckon you're probably more likely to get a big injury from that. But with how the rules are now, how do you stop people from trying to do that?
Yeah, well, the only way would be is to suspend or fine someone who does it, like the flopping rule, you know what I mean? If you purposely, and then once again, how do you determine whether someone's, unless it's really obvious, and suspending someone for jamming their own head into the floor would be a weird one. But, do you fine them? Say, mate, that's risk of serious injury. Like, you do it, one's a warning or one's a fine, the next one, or mate, you're getting suspended for doing that, because God knows, but I don't know. I've got no idea, but they need to fix it, because the game's, as a spectator, is becoming confusing and hard to watch.
Yeah, and like you said, there's always loopholes. Players will find whatever they can.
Of course, and coaches.
Coaches will find, like, if you're trying to slow up the play, they'll find a way to
absolutely.
speed it
They're
up
very,
the other way
very
around.
and because there's so many coaches, and then they have offensive coaches, defensive coaches, like backs, mids, forwards. Like they always have these coaches who spend hours and hours and hours looking through film and trying to develop ways to, give their side the best opportunity to win. Whether that's having loopholes through the AFL, through their system. Well, that's what they do because that's what they get paid to do.
Yeah, well, any club would know that the best way to defend it is a slower club, the opposition team.
Yeah.
So that's what a coach is going to try and do. AFL can bring in whatever rules they
Exactly.
want. The coach is going, right, well, this is how we're going to solve
That's all right. Barring on going to netball and having like players only running certain parts of the field.
Yeah.
Players are so fit and quick, and coaches are so good at sort of obstructing fast plays and stuff like that. There's always the game's going to look horrible at times because they put numbers behind the ball and you slow it up and everyone kicks it backwards because you look up the field and we can't see it on the tally. You look up the field and there's 7-on-4. So, you're like, well, why kick there? The only place your spares are lateral to you or behind, so you have to go back. And it's frustrating for us, especially if you're on the over. You're like, what the fuck are you doing kicking like the ball backwards for 3 minutes, but you don't want to turn the ball over. So that's why it's hard.
I can't go to footy anymore and watch. Just fucking kick it.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
kick it. Like, fuck, there's some structure to
That's
it.
what I mean. You just kick it and go straight to them. You go, why'd you fucking kick it?
Yeah.
Oh, so, you know what I mean? Unless you're a super kicking, try and piece one through the middle or you play on an amble. So that's what I mean. The coaches are so good at setting up behind the ball on a slow play that there's nothing you can do. You have to sort of just chip around or kick around the boundary and hope to go out of bounds. So that's why coaches get paid because they're very, very good at developing game plans to stop the opposition.
Yeah, I love there's always like one player in the team who like takes on that corridor kick, and if they miss it, they get absolutely roasted by the crowd who's been asking everyone else to do it the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot?
But if they hit it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love him. Yeah.
I do. I love watching players take it on, though. It's
absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you're meant to play. Like, that's how you break the defensive structures of our sides by getting the ball quickly and moving on that handball and breaking a line like Saad or Dacos or, all those guys who are very good from half back who can break a line, step someone, then you get over the first layer of defense. And then if you can break through that first line, well, then you see so many goals, just so many plays run into open goals because they're all out the back and, they just handball over the back and get an easy Joe the Goose.
Yeah. Well, even like Zach Merritt does it in a completely different way to everyone else, where he's doing like 25-meter kicks, but just the angles that he puts them at.
And he's an unbelievable kick, so that's what he's very good at.
Hits the easy one. That's the one. But I love seeing even a young player like obviously Ginnivan, like he likes to take it on and do what he can. But Harley Reid, draft pick number 1.
Who's he? I've
never heard of that bloke. No. He's been likened to another Dane Swan. Like it's interesting watching him play. I obviously hope he doesn't get ahead of himself, but he's got some fucking wheels.
Absolutely, as we obviously get a lot of Harley Reid back home, but probably not as much as you guys do. But
like I'm an Eagles supporter, and I'm like, okay, mate, no worries, it's all good.
So, what he does have is an unbelievable highlight package for his first year. Sometimes I look at his stats and he hasn't had a lot of them, but what he does, he's got all the highlights to suggest that. If he went and he plays in a very tough position as that inside mid. He's not an outside player where he can run out. He can run outside and just not get touched all day, or play off half back like a Sheasel did for his first couple of years, or Nick Dacos did, where you can just run around on your own and just set the game up. He plays bang in the middle where he's playing against Cripps, Bonampelli, and he's getting tagged guys against who are men who have fucking played for 10 years in this league, and he's holding his own. He's had a couple of like best on games, but. In 3 or 4 years when his body develops and he's the big boy now, but once he develops and he becomes consistently being able to run out 4 quarters, he could be, he may be, the best of all time, the way he's going, the best mid, but a lot of water going under the bridge, and I hope he does because he's been, if he doesn't, the WA media will fucking crucify him, unfortunately, because he's been touted as like, the second coming of Chris Judd, so if he doesn't live up to that hype, I fear for what he's going to have to go through over here, but hopefully he does and he don't have to worry about it.
I think it's crazy he's gotten close to living up to the hype in his first year already, because I thought there's no chance, like you saying what they were doing before he even played a game. Yeah. And it was like, shit. Like, more often than not, that doesn't work.
No.
Like, you never see someone touted that highly and then come in and not get roasted by everyone. Like, I think it's like LeBron James' son in America right now.
Yeah.
It's like he does anything and it's like 50 people just commenting like, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
So
No, he's been great. So all you can do is hope that he continues on the trajectory that he's on, and he obviously dominates for you because he's probably the great white hope at West Coast.
they don't have a lot else.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, and that's the other thing. Once he gets into a better side, it's going to be much easier for him because right now he's getting tagged because he's got no one else. It feels that Freo he's got Sarong and Brayshaw, so you have to sort of pick who you tag. And you're at any other club, he's probably not getting tagged, but so he can run around on his own and probably learn the game and have 25 no problems. But he's getting tagged every week, so he's probably getting 15 or 20. But they're all fucking hard ones, and he's using his strengths. He's don't argue on his speed to run away, and he takes the odd hanger. But he's going through a learning phase. So West Coast. So hopefully, in 2 or 3 years, he sort of breaks that and becomes the player that we all expect him to.
What sort of advice do you reckon you'd give him? Like from that perspective of being in the media, being on front pages and having some negative things happen to yourself. Like he's got a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly never had the expectations that Harley's had. So, but I'm sure he's pretty grounded from what the little snippets you see. He seems like he's handling it pretty well. But just don't let the highs become too high and don't let the lows become too low. I think he keeps an even keel, and I'm sure he's got great people around him that look after him. But it is just a game in the end. So I know you can get down when you're not getting a kick, and you can be best on. You think you walk around like fucking you're the king, but he keeps a pretty even keel, which I think he does. And just remember, it's the game he loved when he was a kid. So just try and keep that enjoyment, because when you stop enjoying it at the top level, it can be a pretty tough environment to be around. So I hope he's enjoying it. I hope he's loving every second of it, because he's playing. He's living out his dream. I'm sure he's been dreaming of since he was fucking first touched the footy. So I hope he plays. I wish him all the best, and hope he dominates for a very long time.
Yeah, the obviously you said, and you mentioned it before, the media in West Australia is pretty hectic. And we're speaking of back pages or front pages. Did you happen to see?
Yeah, I saw the Adam Simpson thing.
Yeah,
no, it was a little bit fucked, wasn't it?
Isn't it? I don't understand why you'd go out like that. And then you see the second day they tried to make up for it.
Okay.
And they did we'll always have
18.
At least we have 2018. Like, that's not a fucking...
No, it's like kicking a man when he's down, It's like... I don't mind if you're saying that kind of stuff while he's coaching, but, mate, he'd finish. Time to give the man his flowers, Like, he'd won a flag for you. What did he coach 10 years and won a flag? Like, if the next coach that comes in at West Coast, you said you coach for 10 years, you're going to win one flag. I think most supporters would take one flag every 10 years, so it means you get to see 5 or 6, 7 in your lifetime. So they're very, very hard to win. So he got the job done in 2018. So I think it was pretty awful what they did on the front page of the Western Australian or whatever it's called, because he's retired, or he got sacked. Move him on. Time to thank him, and he's got a family and friends, and it's a shit way to go out. So it was a pretty ordinary front page, I thought, by the Herald Sun. Herald Sun. By the they've had quite a few too by the Western Australian.
Yeah. Now the bloody it's obviously was a thing for you, and you said your dad. I think I've seen, was it in the Hall of Fame? You said your dad played a big role in leveling you out and telling you if you're not loving it. Yeah.
When I got arrested and stuff like that, I thought I was going to be sacked. Dad was a man of few words, but when he spoke, he sort of listened, and he sort of said, "Mate, don't play for AFL because you think we want you to. Like, if you don't want to play, we don't care. We're still going to love you and do whatever, but don't play AFL and waste your time, waste the football club's time, waste everyone else's time if you don't want to be there." So that's what he kind of said. And then after, the 18 months I had been on an AFL list and not really giving a fuck, I thought, it's a pretty good lifestyle. You get, my first contract was 36,000, which felt like $1 million to me, but it doesn't sound like a lot now. But 23 years ago, it was a fair bit for me who'd never had a job before. So I was like, let's give it a go, and let's put a little bit of effort in and see how we go. So I wouldn't say I got put on the right path, but put on a righter path on what I was on, and it was a slow burn, but eventually I got there.
Is it hard having that expectation of I'm the lad, and it's still like you're a dad now and you want to settle down, and I'm sure some nights you just want to fucking sit down and watch TV and chill the fuck out. Like, is it hard sometimes, like having to make that change? And
Yeah, well, I go to footy clubs and that now, and everyone expects me to get on the bend with them and stuff like that. But as much as I'd love to, every now and then, it's hard because I do have children to go to, and I'm 40, and like I can't recover like I used to. Once I'm going, I still go just as well as I used to. But it's the next 3 or 4 days that fuck you. Like when you're 27, as you probably all know, you can bounce back up and you're good to go again after a few hours. But now, Marsh, no, I don't want to see anyone for 3 days. Don't look at my phone, disgusted with myself. So, so it's been a bit of a change. Like I said, like when I go to footy clubs and stuff, like when I'm still playing around the country, people don't really care about me playing. Like all the young fellas want to get on and get on with me after the game, which I do a little bit. But yeah, my life's changed. I'm 40, and the young kids come through. So. I still have, obviously, the lad in me, and I just pick and choose your moments now, obviously. Otherwise, I get kicked out of home if it was every weekend. So, you just pick and choose your moments, and you put them in the calendar. Like, I'm coming back over here for the UFC in a month or whatever. So, that's 4 nights. That's, it's penciled in the calendar. You're away from home, so you don't have to wake up the next morning. So, it's basically when I'm away from home, I don't have to deal with the kids and that the next morning. You can, like, circle them in right over the UFC. Yeah. We'll have a fair weekend, then go home and be normal for the next couple of weeks until the next sort of thing on the calendar where it is. So you get about 5, 6, 7 in a year where you sort of let yourself loose.
That's it. And like we've had 2 now. Yeah. I don't know why. That must have spent some money, I guess, Tourism WA to get it in. But it's we don't even have Jack Della fighting this time.
I heard the first one was incredible. Everyone loved it. So didn't want to miss out. So I was like, fuck it, I'll come back over and watch it and get away from home, get out of the winter. It's cold, and have hopefully a couple more days in the sun. And we've got a decent crew coming over here, so sit in the sun, have a few beers for 4 or 5 days will be awesome.
When is that? August
17. So August 18. I think August 17 in the US. But so I think I'm over Thursday to Tuesday. So I need a day. And that's the other thing. I need a day of recovery the next day because I think it starts here at like 6 or 7 a.m. Yeah. So, and that's the other conundrum. It's like, do you go home Saturday night or do you just, if you power straight through, you're not going to. I want to actually remember the fight, so I think Thursday, Friday night, then try to be in bed early Saturday night and freshen up Sunday, and then going home Monday, like I'll be home like a zombie. So I have Monday all day to sleep, just get myself normal, go home Tuesday fresh and ready to see the family.
Yeah, that's Adesanya Duplessis, I think. Yeah, is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of good Aussies. Jack Jenkins, who I'm mates with, he's fighting too, so come over to watch him. So that'll be fun. Bam Bam's fighting, I think. Dan Hooker, so that's Steve Erseg. So there's a lot of good Aussies on the card, so it'll be awesome.
Yeah, 100%. We got a few questions from some listeners. Yep. I should probably get. Actually, I might get Delby's. You might want to chuck the headphones in for this one. I'll get Delby's voice note. He's loves a voice note. I'm pretty sure I'm hooked up to the. I'll double check. I'm hooked up to the Roadcaster.
Oh my God! I can't figure out how to put headphones on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm connected.
You got him?
Stretch them out.
Oh, you pull.
Head's too big. There we go.
Yep, you buttes. All right. So this is from Delby, the co-host. Here we go. No, it's not playing. All right. Well, I'll just play it through here.
Career. Hey, Swanee, congratulations on the Hall of Fame, mate. Now you can give back for the rest of your career. Get a sweet earn. My question is, the AFL are locking down on head-high contact and protecting the head at all costs. Who never protected their head on end-of-season footy trips? And who's your Hall of Fame footy trip team?
Footy trip, of course, Delby.
Hall of Fame footy trip. How many am I putting in?
Well, put it top 5 maybe, and then. And do we need to set a scene? Like, where is it? Is it in Vegas? Is it Thailand, Bali?
Well, I think he sets the scene. He picks the team.
Yeah.
Well, the Mount Rushmore of footy trips would be Ben Johnson, Chris Tarrant, Dustin Martin. Who else would be? I'm trying to think from other clubs, apart just from giving you the rap. That's just the easy answer. I'm trying to think of other players from other clubs. Who else? I would say Andrew DiMartino is another one. Who else? Sam Fisher was good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 5.
Yeah. And where'd your ideal, I guess, footy trip be?
Ideal one. We're talking obviously in October, end of season.
Yes.
Yeah. Because otherwise, you miss out on the European summer. But
Yeah.
well, it's hard to go past Vegas because for what it is, like it's the perfect. How long have I got?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, no, you can't fucking 2 weeks not in Vegas. So you do. I'd say you get that over and done with.
Yeah.
So you fly in on probably a Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
You go to probably Monday. So I'd say that's 4 or 5 nights. You do Vegas. Get the huge blowout over and done with.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd probably be fucked for a day or two. So that'd be Monday. You probably have a Monday rest. So that'd be a travel day or a lay day in Vegas, just sitting in your hotel and feeling sorry for yourself under the covers, just hating your life. And then I reckon you'd probably go to LA for a couple of days just to relax, get a big house in the hills, a couple of house parties up there. So you do that midweek just because LA sort of happens all week, so there'd be no problem. Then the next weekend, I'm trying to think where's close because Europe's a fair way from the West Coast. South America was always fun, and Argentina was always a ball, but it's still a bit far.
What sort of ball?
Yeah. Whatever, as many balls as you can get. So I'd probably Mexico was good fun. Probably slide down to Mexico for a weekend, or go across to Playa del Carmen or Cancun or something like that, or down there for 3 or 4 days, and then maybe come back up. Maybe to New York and finish off in New York or Miami.
It'd be good doing it over there as well, wouldn't it? Like less people recognising it. You go to Bali, it's like going to another state.
Exactly. So. But you never have a bad time in Bali. But you want to get away. If you've got 2 weeks, that'd probably be a pretty fun couple of weeks, I would think. So there it is.
There'll be a few teams going on some early footy trips, I reckon. But finals are coming up. So you have any predictions, like who you think's, who's gonna win?
Sydney are obviously in the box seat. They will finish on top. So they get 2 home games, the SCG. So I think they go into the granny. Mm-hmm. Then it just depends who they play. Like if Carlton get in, they get to play Carlton on the MCG. If Geelong get in, they play on the MCG. I don't think Essendon will probably make it, but if they play a Melbourne-based side, it probably leans into – it might probably be a 50-50 game because you're playing a Melbourne-based side on the MCG. Brisbane, they're storming home. They managed to get second spot. They basically win 2 home, and then it's a Sydney-Brisbane game, which won't be great for Melbourne. But I would say Sydney now and probably Sydney-Brisbane at the minute on form. Yeah. But
I'd love to see Carlton. Like I love seeing the big Melbourne clubs at the MCG.
Yeah, because I'll be able to sell my grand final tickets for much more. So my grand final tickets would be much more. Sydney-Brisbane, I'd probably give them away.
Yeah.
I think Sydney-Carlton would be fucking. That'd be nice. Sydney-Essendon, Carlton-Essendon or something like. Geez, that'd be unbelievable. Massive. Yeah, or Carlton-Collingwood. Collingwood ended up going on a 5-game winning streak, and Carlton-Collingwood would be. But I'd probably have to go. But it'd be a real way up because you could sell them for fucking big money. So maybe I'll just watch on the couch and make myself an earn. But
I was over in Italy last year in the prelim and the semi, and we were watching the Carlton versus Brisbane, and all I wanted was Carlton Collingwood, 2 big Melbourne clubs. Just a vibe would have been fucking sensational.
My grand final, as much as we all Carlton Collingwood all hate each other's and I'll take the piss out of each other, like I would love nothing more if Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, and Richmond or something were in the prelims. Like fuck, Melbourne would be enormous for those 2 weeks. Like, and you need SWAT teams at the granny because there'd be riots, there'd be punch-ons, there'd be stabbings, it would be fucking chaos. If Carlton and Collingwood played in the granny, like some team won by a point on a dubious holding the ball decision or something like, could you imagine it? Like they would rip the fucking MCG down. It would be glorious. That's what I hope for. I hope Carlton go a long way, and if Essendon make it, they go a long way. Because footy is much better in Melbourne when the big clubs are playing well. Like there's just a different vibe about Melbourne in the finals when the big clubs are in it. It makes Melbourne so much better, and there's a lot more work for ex-players who've won a premiership out there. So lot busier week when the big clubs are playing.
Well, last year was my first time I ever went to the MCG. Came over just before I went to Europe. Got to watch the Sydney Carlton semi, I think it was, and went there as a blue bagger just because I'm going to buy in.
Yeah.
Sammy and Steve got us tickets, and fuck, man, like the sound, like I mean, stadium we've got here is fucking incredible, and the Eagles, and when I've been to the prelim there, and that roar was huge, but. Mate, when they kicked a goal to get in front, I think Akers kicked a goal. I never felt or seen anything like that in my life. It's fucking incredible.
It's enormous. And like I went Origin this year, game 3 of the decider, and everyone was like, mate, you'll never hear anything like a 55,000 Queenslanders going berserk like for Origin. And I was like, yeah, okay. And to be fair, it was incredible. Like obviously they got beat in the end, so the crowd noise sort of died down the last 15 minutes. But like at the start, the roar, absolutely incredible. But there's nothing like a Carlton Collingwood Anzac Day, like 100,000 people at the MCG, preliminary final day. Nothing will beat an Australian sport like 100,000 people at the MCG. Like both grand final days are a bit different because a lot of corporates and a lot of packages, so a lot of like non-traditional like supporters there. But you get a prelim, you get Carlton Collingwood prelim or whatever prelim, you get 100,000 people that going berserk. There's not a noise like it in Australian sport. Nothing compares to it.
Yeah, I've been to the Anzac Day game, and that was. Another level to anything else, because we got a close one when I went. I think Bombers might have kicked the Zaharakis might have kicked the
game. Thanks for bringing that up. I remember that.
Well, you were at that game.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
So
that was a minute ago. You must have been a young fellow back then.
That was the first time I'd gone to Melbourne.
Yeah, man. Anzac Day's an incredible day. Like, after the last post in the anthem, that roar of the crowd when the boys get to huddle up that 30 seconds, mate, it's fucking hairs on the back of your neck stand up, you know what I mean? And I always say when I do things, when I speak at footy clubs or whatever, I'm like, even if you don't barrack for Collingwood or Carlton or Collingwood or Essendon, get to an Anzac Day one day and just enjoy. And if you don't like the sides, you can leave 5 minutes after the game finishes, but our game starts, but the ceremony and the start of it, mate, it's incredible.
What sort of because you've been through it, what sort of effort do they put into that in regards to the pre-game and sort of education with the teams?
Massive. Like, I learnt more about Australia's history at war by being at Collingwood than I did at school. Like, and to be fair, I learnt nothing at school, so, so it wasn't a huge stretch, but it's a massive week. And Mick and Kevin Sheedy obviously were massive war historians too, so they loved it. But yeah, all week you get a guest speaker in from someone who's fought at war, or someone who's in the service now, or someone who's won like some kind of medal, and they'd talk about their time, or you'd talk about the Rats at Tobruk, or Gallipoli, or whatever it was, and you'd learn and understand about that. And we always compare footy to war, like they're going into battle, and clearly we know it's nothing the same, but you try and compare it for the day, and it's all what they try and compare it to is about mateship and looking after your mate and stuff like that, and following your mate into battle and doing anything you can for him and stuff like that. But yeah, it's incredible. And I don't remember basically any pre-game speeches, but because you're always, if you play footy, you're so insular on game day and worried about yourself and what you have to do. But those pre-game speeches from Mick were incredible. Like, he'd read out a letter from like an 18-year-old from 1904 or so, 1911 when the First World War was on. He's writing a letter back to his mum. His 18-year-old is away at war, got no idea what's about to go on about, if I don't come home, I love you and all this kind of stuff. And you're sitting there, it was 110 years ago, and you got tears. 23 blokes got tears in their eyes just before you're about to go and play for over 100,000. So, mate, it's an incredible game. The honour of playing on that day is certainly not lost on the players, and they do an incredible job of making sure everyone recognises that and making sure that we give a little bit back for the past, present, and future servicemen and women who have done what they've done to make our country what it is.
100%. And you see, even after the game, after the ceremony, the coach is crying and tearing up. Like, you can see the emotion it
Absolutely,
has.
And everyone's got their own story about it. But it's a phenomenal day, and it's one. You're just very lucky. Whether you hate Collingwood or Essendon, you're very, very lucky to be drafted into a club like that, to get to play on. And Essendon get dream time at the G2, which is also incredible. But to be drafted to Collingwood or Essendon, you're very, very lucky if you can get a career out of those two clubs.
Yeah, bloody oath. A couple of questions. We won't go through all of them. I'll pick out 2 or 3. One of them's a stupid question from David Hughes, who knows fucking nothing about footy. Have you ever footballed? And so much you like, fuck it, that's too much football. No, don't worry about that one.
Have I ever footballed and felt? Yeah, most training. That's when training is when I felt like I'd footballed too much.
Well, thanks, Husey, for that question. No, here's a proper one. Okay, so if Swanee was the boss of the AFL, what changes would he make? And then side question, how was a Hall of Fame after party? Sort of touched on that.
The first rule I would make, if as the boss of the AFL, would be to double the boss of the AFL salary. That'd be the first rule change for sure.
Yeah.
Then I'd fuck the stand rule off.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just useless. And I'd tackle the pardon the pun. I'll tackle the tackling thing probably though, and I would probably get rid of rotations. Like get rid of the cap rotations. I was the most rotated man in the league for 3 years, so I probably ruined football because they didn't like the aesthetics of me coming on and off the ground. But they're probably ones that I would do.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I don't think many people would disagree with the tackling one, but it's one of those situations. If you're put in that situation, what would you do? Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
probably just go, well, just deal with it.
Exactly.
Conscious of your time, so you've got a few things coming up. Obviously, we can list through them. So Tuesday night, what's that? Tomorrow night? What day is it? It's a Monday.
What day is this coming out?
This afternoon.
This afternoon.
Yeah. So tomorrow night we're at Herdsman. With Scotty Cummings. I emceed his college that he went to.
Well, I think it's the first time me and Scotty Cummings will be allowed in a room together since he got sacked from our podcast. So I'm not sure. I'm very surprised he said yes. Maybe he doesn't know it's with me. He tries to steer clear of me when we're doing public speaking. So it should be interesting. First time we're in a room together again since he got run out of Melbourne.
Mate, he is a funny lad.
He's very good.
He was up on at the Stitch in Time Gala last year, which is a charity fundraiser, a mental health thing we have over here with Greg Hire. And he was up there talking with Benny Cousins, and Benny Cousins was trying to remember something. He's like, oh, fuck off. Don't pretend you remember something from back then, mate.
He's very good, man. He's a pisser, Camo. So that should be fun. I haven't seen him since I've been over here, so it'll be good to catch up with Camo.
That's awesome. Then Wednesday night, you got West Perth Footy Club. So that's my old mob. So if you want to get down there, Glenn Jakovic is MC for that. Yep. Did you ever... Was that ever an overlap? I don't know when.
No, Jacko. But
finished
up. I feel like I know more about his career than he does. I don't get much of a word in on the nice with Jacko. He's very good about talking about himself. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Then we got Jandakot Jets. I'm assuming all of these still have tickets available. I know the West Perth one still has tickets, but I think they're doing a bit of corporate stuff there. Friday night we're at Harrisdale Piara Waters. Oh, Piara Waters. Isn't that a fancy schmancy one?
I'm a fancy man.
Not.
No, it's not?
No, I've done a comedy gig there, so I can't be fucking fancy.
Okay. At the Gate Bar and Bistro. Saturday night, Piara Waters again, so Adrian Barrich. So, cool. Oh, and it says you're also available September 5th. Your training session? Are you doing something over here? You're here in September?
I've got a thing with Camo, actually. He's just meant to be for the day. He asked me to, I think he's footy club or something like that. So he asked me to come over and
Mazadon.
Oh, fuck if I know.
Yeah.
I'll find out tomorrow. I'll find out tomorrow. He did tell me, but I've just forgotten. So I think it's a Friday lunch, so I've got to be over here on a Thursday. So I might as well see what I can do.
Fuck yeah! Right, perfect. Definitely conscious of your time. Anything you wanted to ask?
Just on the media thing. Do you think you sort of set up something that I reckon Dusty sort of perfected, of not apologising for everything when you're not necessarily sorry?
Yeah. Well, Dustin doesn't apologise. He doesn't either fucking say sorry either. Dustin doesn't do anything. He doesn't speak at all. So he's perfect.
Seems a lot better, like we brought up Ginnivan before, that probably apologised for stuff that no one's sorry for.
No, I don't understand why people apologise to people that they don't give a fuck about or don't give a fuck about them. Like, why would you write a public apology to Mary from fucking Keysborough that's got no idea? Like, if I'm sorry, I'll apologise to the person that I hurt or offended. Yeah, I don't need to have a big public apology. And the media are just so fucking hungry for blood, and they just wanted to public. And no one believes that these players write these apologies anyway. Yep. They look like hostage videos. But they sit there and just like, I'm sorry. So look like they're being held. They are being held hostage by their clubs. They're like, mate, you have to apologise. Well, I'm not fucking sorry. Well, we need it for sponsors, and they write, I'd just like to apologise to the fans and the sponsors for letting the team down. You're like, you don't fucking believe that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not apologising. I'll apologise to the individual in private time, like face to face, if I've wronged them, but I'm not apologising to people who don't care, because then they just go, well, you don't mean it anyway. So, well, I know I don't mean it, but I was fucking forced to say it.
Well, I think we're seeing it playing out globally at the moment with Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Making that shitty joke.
Yeah.
And if they just left it,
Exactly,
there's probably no one mentions it again. Like, you get the people say sorry, and then you don't say anything. Fine.
Exactly.
Now we're still fucking talking about
or you
it.
double down on it and go, well, it's a fucking joke. Like, you're comedians. You're comedians. You're allowed to say whatever you want. I think you're allowed to discuss taboo subjects, because that's what comedy is. You're allowed to make fun of random awkward shit, which makes it funny. People can't have a joke these days. The world's gone. I don't know how you two get up on stage and talk about things that people get so offended by, because the world's gone so soft. You talk about it like a subject, and you're meant to have an hour of to forget about all your troubles and have a laugh about shit that you're not allowed to laugh about in the general world. So I have no problem with talking about awful subjects and making light of them, because it's when I speak, you try and have a laugh for an hour and get people to forget about their fucking problems.
That's why I love watching Toby Green at the moment. You see him take the piss out of Isaac Heaney the other day.
That was brilliant.
That was so good.
And then the AFL man kicked up a sting about it, and Sydney weren't happy about it. Who cares?
He was like, him and Isaac Heaney are mates.
Exactly. And that was awful. Mate, he got suspended for a week. It's not like he...
Oh, that was insane.
It's not like he was going to jail and shot someone. Everyone thought, fuck, that's a horrible... That was like a hostage video.
Yeah.
So, and then it deserved to be taken the piss out of. And then Sydney got their backup. So, you can't have fun in this world anymore. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah. I think that's the thing as well, though. The GWS social media team at the moment,
very good.
Everyone's loving it.
Because
they're doing the opposite of everyone else.
Yeah.
And now they're all trying to copy them.
No, they're very good. They're clearly the best social media team in the AFL. They're very good, and they can laugh at themselves, and they like to take the piss out of everyone else, which is what you can do. You can it's nice to have a bit of a laugh and look at what they're going to say, and it's good. It's much better than the serious stuff that everyone else drums out.
Well, I don't watch football for seriousness.
No, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And so, I'm not on social media. I'm not on Twitter and stuff for serious stuff. You want to have a laugh and go down rabbit holes of all kind of weird shit that you just fucking find yourself following.
100%. The rabbit holes are fucking going to be pretty hectic over the next couple of months, I think.
Yeah.
With Biden just stepped down.
I just watch Mob for the rabbit holes. Fucking hell.
Yeah, well, the more we go
I'm surprised you didn't ask for a ghost story.
Do you have any ghost stories? Like that happened to you?
Any ghost stories? No, not that I'm aware of. And after a couple of big nights, I think there's been people in my house talking and stuff like that. Fuck, who's that? But apart from that, I'm not sure they're ghosts. They're
Start
ghosts
hearing
in my
voices.
brain. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Exactly. Who's there? Yeah.
Fuck, man. Oh, it's always fun having you on, mate. Anything you want to plug before you plug it off?
No, I'm all good, mate. Just fucking ticking along.
Yeah. Awesome. Squirrely, anything you want to plug, mate?
If you like fishing, listen to the Chumming Up podcast.
Yep.
And then come back here for the ghost stories.
Ultimate Promotions, I guess. Ron got me over here, Ultimate Promotions. So,
look at him yelling out the back.
I just remembered he's sitting over there, so fuck, I better give him a plug. And, he bought me lunch the last couple of days, so that's the least I can do. So, Ultimate Promotions, find him on Facebook and Instagram. I would imagine he's always got great talent coming over here. So, have a follow of him and get down a couple of his events.
Yeah, Ron, if you ever want to check us anyone else who's coming over, Patrick Cripps or anyone like that, that'd be good. So I got a show at Leederville next Saturday. Is it the third next Saturday? I think it is. And our comedy room opens back up on the 1st.
Oh, can I have the spot?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we could have a very big guest as well.
Yeah, mate. I just said that.
Who's in town. But yeah, we'll hopefully new setup, everything. Room's fucking looking good. So Thursday night, get down there. Free drink on entry if you buy a ticket, and which is always sensational. Good lineup of comedians. And Squealing Pig at Sir Henry's in Northbridge. Get there. Should be good. And then I'm
at a couple of them.
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously. And then the third at the Leadable Hotel. I'm doing a spot there. So, but I'm off to Bali in a couple of days, so you won't see too much of it of me for a couple of days, or you'll see a lot of me posting me sipping bintangs. So, aside from that, thanks so much for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. Hooroo.